Mom, who is your favorite child?
Sarah.
This is so awkward. The Super Bowl is happening on Sunday. We're really excited. It's the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs, who are the current Super Bowl champs. Yucky. And the Chiefs are going for their third consecutive Super Bowl win. And only if that happens, it will be the first time in NFL history. Also, these two teams faced off back in 2023. Larry and I, who do we want to win?
Let's go Birds!
Yes, we want the Eagles to win for many, many reasons. But I have to say, I am just as excited for the halftime show with Kendrick Lamar and SZA. Fun fact, halftime shows have been a thing since the first Super Bowl in 1967. An unfun fact, the Chiefs were in that Super Bowl as well.
The world's largest iceberg is moving for the first time in decades, and scientists are worried about where it's headed. First of all, this is a huge iceberg. It's 1,500 miles wide, which is about 3 times the size of New York City.
Forget about it. Forget about it.
So if the iceberg stood upright, it would be taller than most skyscrapers. It's been traveling through Antarctica's waters for decades, and now the iceberg's next moves are being questioned. Scientists think in just a few weeks it could collide with South Georgia, not Kelsey's Georgia, a British island in the Atlantic Ocean where a lot of penguins and seals live. Right now is a time where penguins and seals gather food in the water to bring back and feed their young. So if that iceberg hits, it could cause a lot of animal devastation. However, scientists are also saying there's a possibility that the iceberg could totally miss South Georgia. We will keep you all updated on what happens next.
Hello. Okay, so my question, Mom, who is your favorite child?
Oh, I believe you're setting me up because you know it's going to be you.
I told you.
Good answer.
You bring me so much joy.
Oh, thank you, Mommy.
Hey, Ma. Hang on, show the dog, yeah. Oh, he's Maverick, and he's walking along. Yeah, he's a big guy. He's a good boy. Which child is your favorite?
I don't have a favorite.
Yes, you do. We all know it's Steven. Just admit it on camera.
Steven is the easiest.
Yeah, well, it's not. Steven is the third of boys, so the first 2, she had a trial run.
He's also the only single one, if that helps.
Wow. Oh, Steve, you just got lit up. Kelsey's single. You want to date my brother? You got to pick one. We did the report. It says you have to pick one.
Steven.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, believe it or not, our parents' answers align with proof. Researchers from 2 universities explored years of parenting studies to understand which siblings are most likely to be their parents' favorites. Here's what they found. Daughters, like me, and older children,
like me,
tend to be parents' favorites, like this daughter who absolutely knows. The nice ones, likely to do the right things, are also favorites. The sons, though, they tend to be less favorable. Sorry, Larry.
There's probably some more complex things that affects parents' favoritism, so this study is in no way set in stone. But to the parents watching at home, showing favoritism towards certain kids can impact how they grow up, so parent accordingly. Do you think your parents have a favorite? You know they do. Tell us why below.
The yeas are 59. The nays are 34. The nomination is confirmed.
Some of the people President Trump nominated for his cabinet have been confirmed. Every president chooses a cabinet, and Trump began nominating people for his after he won the election. Almost all nominees go through a hearing, then they're officially sworn in after the Senate approves their appointment. Some of Trump's picks have been controversial because many question their experience and qualifications, but a handful are already at work. Pete Hegseth, he's leading the Department of Defense. He used to be in the Army. Kristi Noem, she's in charge of Homeland Security, and she was the governor of South Dakota. Marco Rubio, he is the Secretary of State dealing with international issues. He was a senator from Florida.
But what's the point of a cabinet anyway? Being the president is a big job, more than any one person can handle, so they gotta delegate work. Cabinet members are assigned various responsibilities. It's basically meant to be a group of experts who give advice to the president on various issues, like how to use our military, the Department of Defense, or how to keep our country safe, also known as the Department of Homeland Security. And they execute what the president wants done. The word cabinet isn't actually mentioned anywhere in the Constitution, but the idea of it is in Section 2.
President George Washington started it all the way back in 1789, and he originally had 4 people. Here they are. He liked to hear their opinions before making any decisions, and presidents ever since then have been using this cabinet tradition. Unlike being president, there aren't too many requirements to be in the cabinet. You can't be in Congress, you can be born outside the US, and there's no minimum age. We'll keep close watch as the roles become official. Make sure you're subscribed.
There's an investigation into what caused a plane crash in Washington, D.C. last week after a military helicopter and a plane collided before landing. There were unfortunately no survivors.
It's not clear how this happened, and a crash like this is extremely rare, and it's believed air travel is the safest way to travel. The recovery, which is currently happening, will help investigators understand what happened. It can be hard to hear about something like this, and we have info on how to handle scary news right here.
Kelsey, you ever have an overdue library book?
Plenty.
Well, someone tried to return theirs 50 years later.
Chuck. He checked out baseball's zaniest stars when he was 13 years old in 1974, which I wouldn't. But
I would. Not only would I.
would.
Would you put the book? Oh, I would, and not only would I, we have a copy of it right here. I read it, actually. My favorite chapter is about Dizzy Dean and the Gas House Gang. Dizzy was such a good pitcher that he would get bored on the road and would spend his downtime pulling pranks between games.
Chuck found his copy on a bookshelf. That makes sense. The library he borrowed it from is in a suburb of Detroit. And when he told them about the book, they said, "Keep it, Chuck." And no, fine. To pay it all back, he decided to raise money to donate to the national charity Reading is Fundamental. The nonprofit brings the joy of reading to kids everywhere.
Chuck's library fine would have been over $4,500, or you could get it online for $11. But guess what? He's raised over $5,000 and he hopes to raise even more.
Tulsi Gabbard. Gabbard.